everybody. Today is January 2nd, 2018. I think I did one of the hardest things I think I've ever had to do as a father. My dog Spike, he's still alive and everything, but he just seems to get worse and worse by the day. And it's funny because I always tell everybody to cherish the things that you love the most and don't take anything for granted. And my dog slid a disc in his back, and everybody's like, oh, he'll be just fine, but he hasn't walked, he hasn't eaten in almost 3 weeks. He just gets worse and worse, and I think the muscle relaxers finally wore off, and I'm actually thinking it was worse than a thing in his back. And I could tell it was bothering my daughter, because that's the only friend she grew up with, you know. Kind of like when I was younger, my grandma and grandpa Coon had a dog named Mitzi, and my grandma and grandpa Jansen had a dog named Sammy. And my mom one day told me they had to put Mitzi down, like Mitzi went to heaven. And with my daughter not understanding what's going on and being a little older than I was at the time, I kind of let her know that, you know, we may have to make some choices soon if Spikey doesn't start recovering. Because one of the worst things I do is to hate seeing my family members in pain, especially family members that we care about with our entire heart. And I just feel like I broke my little girl's heart tonight. You know, I always see negative stuff all the time. I always tell people, you gotta cherish the things you love the most, and sometimes when you hurt those you love. I have to make a decision in the next couple weeks. And I made sure my daughter gets to be part of that decision. But a lot of people don't know, for the last 13 years, like I said, my dog has been with me from, I got him when things were rough. And now I gotta face him. He doesn't move, he doesn't eat. And I know it's just a dog. But he's a dog that brought a lot of people together, that a lot of people cared about. And tonight I had to make that choice to let my daughter know, and it's a choice I stick with, even though he's not gone yet. But she needs to know what's going on, and she also needs to feel empowered that I trust her enough to let her know some of the bigger decisions in life. And she doesn't know what breaks my heart every day, is see my dog get weaker and weaker. Kind of like I watched my grandparents get weaker and weaker. I watched my family members with cancer get weaker and weaker. And once they get to a point, you know there's no turning back. But I wanted to tell her so that she could say her last goodbyes over the weekend or whenever it happens. And just broke my heart tonight. Because sometimes we take for granted those things are the most important to us. It doesn't matter if it's an animal or a human. It doesn't matter if it's a friend or a loved one. Even your worst enemies sometimes turn out to be some of your greatest friends. Because we don't see the good in everything. We take for granted. Things become flies on a wall. Like a poster on the wall we don't see anymore. We take them for granted. Until we have to make the choices in life. We don't want to see our friends and family and loved ones suffer anymore. I don't do what I do here all the time because I want to. I do it because I want people to understand. They need to call their family members and their loved ones. They need to let go of the past, because you don't know how important life is. Tonight with my little girl, something that means more to her than probably anything right now other than her closest family members. It's probably the worst news she got in a long time. And I want her to know more good and more positive than negative. Because so many people out there have no clue how much damage they can do by words that come out of their mouth, by hate, by not forgiving, by not forgetting. And when you look at the simplest things, like your best friend, like your dog, like my daughter's best friend, it was her dog. It didn't matter how long I had him. And now I've got to make a decision in the next couple weeks. While I may keep my promises and keep my commitments to my family and my friends and my team. Most people, it may not seem like that big of a deal. But those that have had pets that have touched their lives, that have been there with them from, they help us get through so much. And sometimes we don't think of that. It could be our moms or our dads. It could be our grandparents. It could be our best friends in that situation. And as we get older, these are the things we deal with. So tonight, before I do my daily reflections later, just know your loved ones matter. Those men that I served in the Marine Corps with, every single one of them matters. My dad, my sister, my brother-in-law, my nephews, they all matter. Each one of you matters. Each one of you is important. I don't say it because I feel I have to. I say it because I mean it. And tonight, without meaning to, I broke my little girl's heart by letting her know what we may have to do. But I feel that if I didn't, she may later on wish I would have given her an option to be able to say her final goodbyes when it does happen. And I'm just a father. I'm not perfect at it. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if what I'm doing is right or not. There's no guidebook. Doesn't matter how many books we read. There's no guidebook on being a parent. There's no actual guidebook on how to be a friend or how to handle drama. It's just those in our lives that are strong enough to pull us up when we're down, and we pull our friends up when we're down. To get away from those that are toxic to us. To keep the good in our life and keep the happy memories alive and kicking, and make sure we don't forget how great things are by letting others pull us down. So, anyway, I wanted to share this moment with everybody just so you know that some of the simplest things we take for granted, we need to enjoy. We need to live. So, and yes, I will be doing daily reflections tonight, and I will talk to everybody later.